Hello, and welcome to the California Raptor Center and to our Indiegogo campaign, Help Save Hawks. Our goal is to raise money to feed our birds. My name is Sally Reynolds. I've been a volunteer here for 9 years, and this is Grasshopper, a Swainson's hawk who came into us blind in one eye, so he's not releasable, but he's now become one of our winged ambassadors for our education department. Now let me turn you over to Brett Stedman, our operations manager, who's been here for 30 years. He will tell you more about who we are and what we do.
California Raptor Center is a facility where we rehabilitate injured and orphaned birds of prey. The birds are almost always found locally by members of the community. These animals are not owned by anybody. They're not clients that can come and pay for the care that these animals get. So we are in need of assistance in order to keep this place operating. What we try to do when we receive them is we evaluate them for physical condition and from a behavioral point of view to see if we feel the bird is releasable back to the wild. That is our main goal. If we determine that the bird has a prognosis that includes release, then we work medically and in all ways to get that bird to the point where it's physically ready for release. Sometimes we can't do that, and certain birds are kept in captivity to be used for educational purposes, or sometimes even transferred to other facilities where they'll be used for that purpose. Aquila is the bird now who has been here longer than any other bird. She came here in June of 1982. She had a gunshot wound, and in those days it was legal to amputate wings at the shoulder, and so she is a complete amputee on one side. Nowadays we're not allowed to do those sorts of surgeries. It's considered in many cases to be inappropriate to the bird's quality of life. In her case, she's a bird that has tremendous balance and tremendous ability to negotiate obstacles and get around her cage without falling over. The lack of one wing doesn't seem to affect her quality of life very much. The center is also a facility where we concentrate a great deal on education.
They have mostly rods in their eyes and not cones.
We educate our volunteers, certainly. We educate people through outreach and in-house programs that focus on all aspects of raptors. Well, we call it flight lining. It's often called creance training or creance line. The value of it is basically twofold. It allows us to physically condition a bird more effectively than we often can with a large flight cage. The other thing I use it for is to evaluate a bird, to see how much flight ability any bird has at a given time, and look for wing symmetry and strength and everything that I want to characterize the bird as potentially releasable. The center is basically concerned with rehabilitation, education, and research, and it is very much run on volunteer labor. Our staff consists of 1.5 paid positions, and then everybody else that's out here is volunteering their time towards this program. That usually is around 40 to 45 people at any given time that come in and volunteer for us 4 hours a week. We literally could not run without the volunteers that we have.
Good boy.
These are animals that come to us from the community, and the cost of maintaining them in captivity are absorbed by the center. We are in need of assistance in order to keep this place operating. We no longer have a university budget. It's a very difficult economic time for everybody, and we have felt that. We survive through public donations. That is the type of assistance that we will need to continue to operate.
Thank you for listening to our appeal. Please be as generous as you can so we can keep our birds flourishing and release those who are releasable to live again in the wild. Thank you.